Hello, good evening. Welcome to Model Kit Stuff. Nice to see you all. Right, first things first, can someone in the comments just let me know that you can hear me and that I'm not just talking to myself, because I can't have this on any other device, otherwise we get echo and feedback and that sort of stuff. Brilliant. Right, we've got sound. Fantastic. Okay, nice to see you all. Thank you very much for joining. Don't often do a live stream, as you know, but it's a bit of a special day today. So we got a big box, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first things first, Wendy. Cheers. We've both got a cup of tea on the go. Right. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to have a look at the box. What did Amati send me? So I had no idea what was coming. What was basically said to me was something about a particular type of kit, but I wasn't sure exactly which one, and some tools and bits and pieces. And again, I didn't know what they were sending. So today we're going to have a look at what that is. We will do proper videos on all of them at some point, but what we're going to do right now is just sort of take a look at what we got and maybe have a quick chat about them, and we'll probably have a bit of a chat while we're at it about who knows what. Don't know how long it's going to take, don't know really what's in the box. What I've done is I've opened the box and emptied all the polystyrene out so I can just fish out the contents. And we'll go pretty much from small item to big item. But before we do that, let's just check the chat. So what I'll do periodically is I'll just pause and check the chat, because I've not got my glamorous assistant with me tonight. She's doing other things. So I'm flying solo. So I'll pause and check the chat and make sure I'm not missing anything really exciting that I don't want to miss. And if anyone's got any questions or anything like that, I can catch up with that, and we can highlight them and that sort of stuff. So let's just go from the top. Hello to Wendy, Stuart, Gary, James, Lee. Nice to see you all. Dave, so on and so forth. I think that's World War II, Dave. George, nice to see you as well. Hobby Time. Sorry, Hobby Time. Don't know your name. Put your name in the chat and then we can mention you by name, and I'll try and remember for next time. Martin, hi Martin. And Colin, of course. So Colin's around the corner from me in Chorley. And I'm between Chorley and Leyland in a place called Claytonley Woods. So we're around the corner from each other. And like me, I don't think he's been to the Commercial Vehicle Museum either. Hello, James. I was a bit confused on the start times. Me too, because I put it up this morning and then I forgot all about it until tea time. And we've got Craig there. Hi, Craig. And Stephen Payne. Hello, Stephen Payne. How are you? Nice to see you. And Dan's there. Hiya, Dan. Okay. So let's just introduce Amati, because one or two of you may not know much about Amati, or maybe not even anything about Amati. So let's start there. So Amati are an Italian company that specialize in wooden model kits, and most famously wooden ship kits. And if you've seen my HMS Fly build, then you've seen an Amati kit. We have reviewed one or two on here, I think, in the past, done some first impressions. Basically, that's where they've got their name up, and they're one of the leading manufacturers of wooden kits. So Victory Models, which is one of their offshoot brands, is considered one of the better makes of kits, and Amati behind that. And they don't just do ships, they've got some really interesting stuff out there. If you go and have a look at the website, they do some more simple wooden kits. And they do an absolutely stunning Orient Express coach, which is about £1,000. It's about £1,000, that kit, but it's absolutely stunning. Really, it's on my wish list, but haven't got around to saving up for that one just yet. So that's who Amati are. Now, alongside doing kits, they also do tools. And what they do is, rather than what some companies do, where they buy in tools that are made from other people and put their logo on it and stick it out, they actually design their own tools, develop them, test them. So you've seen me use Amati tools, and I've talked about Amati tools. So they're quite high quality tools. So that's the background. I know Amati from building wooden ships over the years, and what happens is you get their tools and you use them for the wooden ships, and then you think, actually, this would be good when I'm building this tank or this aeroplane or whatever. So hopefully they've sent me some stuff that will be of interest to you, even if you don't build wooden model ships. And I'm hoping we've got something that might tempt those of you who have always fancied building a wooden model ship, but don't fancy all that plank bending and steaming planks and cutting planks to length and all that to form the hull. So we might have something here of interest to all of you for that. Right, so let's just have a quick catch up, see that I've not missed anyone. Hiya, Peter of Scale Modelling. Nice to see you. Thanks for supporting and turning up. Captain Charlemagne, nice to see you. Another creator worth checking out, especially if you like your ships. We've said hello to Stephen. So I think I have said hello to everyone. If I haven't, apologies. But let's get on with the show, because I've waffled for 7 minutes and we've not done anything yet. So first item out of the box. Bear with me. Oh, did I show you the box? Let's show you the box first. It's quite a big box, as you might have seen on the picture. There you go. So it's about the size. It's probably about my waist height. So if you saw the review I did of their large wooden 50s speedboat, I forget what it's called. It's about that size, the box. So first item out of the box. Has anyone got any more guesses before we do that, actually? Because someone said some paintbrushes with packing. Now you know a bit more about Amati, maybe. What could be in there? Looking forward to your live stream with Nigel. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were doing a live stream with Nigel, Peter. Right. Okay. First thing out of here. Oh, I must also say, before we get going, there is a bit of a lag because I'm on StreamYard and I'm viewing what's being said on StreamYard. There's a lag, about 45 to 50 seconds of lag between you typing it and it popping up on my screen. It's much slower than when I do premieres. Right, now then, this first item, a big ship. Okay, that's a fairly good guess, I would guess, James. A Revell HMS Victory. We wouldn't have one of those. Absolutely wouldn't have one of those. Right, okay. So first thing actually is going to be interesting for the armoured fighting vehicle modelers in there and people who like doing dioramas and that sort of stuff. Because the first thing that they've sent me is this, which doesn't come up on camera very well, but it is a packet of sail material. Now, obviously, it's really handy for making sails for wooden model ships, which is what it's designed for. You get a pack. We'll talk about it, like I say, on the video. You get a pack full of the stuff. And it's also very handy for, swapping out the plastic sails that you get in things like the Le Sol Royal that we reviewed the other day and the Airfix Victory and what have you. It's great for that. But if you're an armoured fighting vehicle fan and you like building dioramas or you like adding to your models, this stuff is great for making tarpaulins, rolls of material, bedding rolls, that sort of stuff, camouflage netting. You can also dye it, paint it. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. We'll talk about it properly when I do the video, but this has got loads of uses. So now I have some of this already. So this is handy because I got 4 sheets of sails to replace on that 1/100 Hella kit, haven't I? So that will be really helpful for that. But we'll perhaps do a little play in the video and show you what else you can do with it. Yeah, it's really, I've used it a few times in the past. It's a really interesting product with, and not something that I think most people would think of using. So that was the first thing in the box. Right, let me just catch up with the messages again. Let's see. Hello, Ron. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Everyone loves a bit of Ron Calvary, the model ship. Then what have we got? Captain Brian Ditz, can you suggest an alternative to pledge, please? Pledge, but for what? I don't know if that question is for me or for the people in the chat, but if someone wants to pick that up, because I don't know what that means. Is it the Bismarck you sent? Oh, well, you're right. They do a Bismarck. That would be very nice. It's a very, very nice kit, the Bismarck. I have seen it. Right. Shall we have a look at what was next in the box? So the next thing in the box, you've also seen me use because it's the gripper tool. You see that? There we go. So you see me use this quite regularly. Most recently, I have used it on the go-to build for holding the wings in place. It's a really, really good tool. And you've probably all seen me use this. Sorry, I'm trying to find my camera. This thing. And it's similar, but it's a lot bigger. And it's got all sorts of uses. Has 1 or 2 limitations as well. We'll talk about that when we do the video. But I've had this now for 7 years and it's going strong. It's a really robust tool. So doesn't matter what your modeling genre is, this is a really handy tool. So and I have a little suggestion for Amati on how they could improve it or give us some options that you could possibly buy in addition to it. So we'll talk all about that in the video. But yeah, the gripper tool, it's really a really good tool actually. And I've used it, like I say, for years. So yeah, nice. So that was the second thing out of the box. Does the Amati make a model of the bomb vessel, which must race horse? No, they. So Captain Charlemagne. Now have a look on the website. They do a couple of bomb vessels. The Grinaldo, I think it is. I happen to have that one up in my stash. I bought it off someone who'd started it and made a bit of a mess of it, and he sold it to me for a fraction of its cost. And to be honest, it's quite easy to reconcile. The damage is done. So, and it's a lovely kit, actually. But yeah, if you have a look at their website, you can order from Italy. But if you're in the UK, Cornwall Model Boats, places like that have stock most of the Amati stuff. And you can buy all the fittings separate and that sort of stuff as well, which is always handy. Right, third thing that we had in the box. So again, it's a tool. Now, I've not used this tool before, so this will be really interesting. And especially if you are a wooden shipbuilder, but also if you do a lot of sort of dioramas or adding bits to your model or scratch building, then you might find the Master Cut is something you're going to be interested in. So I'm really interested in reviewing this because I have a chopping tool. There you go. So you assemble it. I have a chopping tool and it's okay, but it's a little flimsy. So I'm interested to know if this is more robust for a start. But yeah, there's lots of uses for that. So that's really interesting. And you basically you can cut on an angle, so you can do miters. And so if you want to butt up miter joints and that sort of stuff, you can get them perfectly square and what have you. And it says it includes 5 special blades. So I don't know if that's different blades or 5 of the same blade, because you might wear them out. Interesting. Also, be interesting to see how it performs with it being plastic, because sometimes the cutting pads on them can get quite damaged with the constant cutting. So it'll be interesting to see. But there we have it, the Master Cut. So yeah, right. So that is the last tool out of the box. So we only have one more thing, but I've got something else I want to talk about after that that's also Amati related. Let me just check, make sure I'm not missing anything interesting in the chat. So Gary was gifted something by his sister, but I can't work out what that was. Was it the Revell HMS Victory? Watching your back catalogue. Well, you've got some back catalogue to catch up on there, Craig, because the model ship must be about 3.5 years old now. And then it was pens before that. Is that right, Ron? And then clocks. Hiya, Jeff. Nice to see you join in. Thank you very much for popping by. Who else have we got? Alan. Hi, Alan. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm caught up. Brilliant. Right. So on with the big event. Now, I think this is going to be interesting to quite a few people. So let's see. There we go. It's the America's Cup 1934 Endeavour, which is sort of a wooden ship kit. Now, why do I think some people will be interested in this if they don't make wooden ships? Well, it's the hull. The hull is a single-piece plastic hull. So it says on here, pre-built polystyrene hull. So it's basically a single hull like you might get in a trumpeter kit. So all you've got to do is put the deck on and the deck fittings, the mast, make the sails. So this is a relatively new concept and a new kit. I think they've got 2 kits out with the polystyrene hulls. So I'm really interested to have a look in this. I've had a quick look myself because I need to just check that everything was in there. But yeah, it looks like it's really interesting. Now, if you've never built a wooden ship before and you've always fancied it, this might be your entry point because it's fairly simple as ship kits go, and it's a relatively cheap price. This is retailing for about 80 quid, and you might pick it up a bit cheaper if you look around. But yeah, so I don't know what people think about that. I mean, it's a historical boat. It says historical replica. High quality wooden deck, metal and wood fittings, cloth sails, masts and rigging, building instructions and plans. Well, I can tell you now, there's one plan. There's a really nice building instruction book. We've got cast brass fittings in there and all sorts of bits. The only woodwork you have to do is the little buildings and hatches and stuff on the deck, and you have to lay the deck. So you get a plywood, what we call a false deck, which sits on there. So you can put that in, paint your hull up and do all that. And then you cut your wooden strips and put them on. So there's no bending or anything like that. So if you've never built a wooden ship before and you've always fancied it, this is a great entry level, especially if you've got some plastic modeling skills, because all you got to do is sand up the seam line on it and paint it up. That's all you got to do. Now, I beg your pardon, you have to add a rudder, a plywood rudder you have to add, which I think is step 1. But it's a really, really pretty boat and quite impressive. Let's see if we can find some, it's 1/180 scale. I'm just seeing if there's some dimensions on the box. Length 49.5 centimeters. So that's a fairly decent length, and looking at it, it must be a fair bit higher as well than that. So over 0.5 meter high, I would guess. Doesn't say, but I'll tell you now, the mast is pretty much the full length of this box. So it's a fair old length. And the sails, they're not pre-sewn, but they are pre-printed. So you get all those, sorry, getting the light in it. You get all the lines and stuff printed on and what have you. So all you got to do is cut it out, sew over a seam and install your riggings. So there you go. So please comment about what you think about that, because I'm going to read your comments in a sec. But yeah, that is really nice. So Amati have sent me this stuff so I can review it. They're not paying me to review it or anything like that. So I will give my honest review, as I always do. And we will film that at some point in the very near future and get that out. Because actually, I'm quite interested to see what people think. Because wooden modelling it's different to plastic modelling, obviously, but there's a lot of crossover skills. And you'd be amazed how many people I have encouraged to pick it up and then have really enjoyed it and have gone on to build wooden ships in parallel with plastic ones. Right, I'm going to catch up with the chat. So let's have a look. Where are we? Jeff didn't see a notification for this. Okay, interesting. I put this up. Notifications should have gone out around about 5 hours ago. So let's see. Martin says very nice. So yeah, subject matter is interesting, isn't it? I remember as a kid having a wooden hulled toy version of something not dissimilar. That I used to try and play with in my paddling pool, as I recall, when I was little. So let's see. Wendy's saying that looks very nice. Yeah. So there's lots of brass fittings on it. So the brass really makes it pop, I think. Not much, a little bit of painting to do, but it's all sort of mahogany. And I think they reference a Tamiya colour for the hull. So it's basically good for newbies into wood modeling. Yeah, absolutely. What you're going to have is you're going to have the most challenging thing is going to be tapering the booms and the mast. So the mast will go from around about 8 millimeters diameter at its base to 6 millimeters at the top, and you've got to do an even taper. That's the most challenging thing. It's actually a simple thing to do when you know the technique. And you don't need a lathe. Obviously, if you've got a lathe, it's a little easier, but it doesn't actually save you a lot of time. So that's probably the hardest woodwork task on there. The rest of it is cutting strips to length and gluing them down, or cutting out plywood bits that are already shaped and slotting them together with a bit of wood glue. So from a woodwork point of view, a nice and easy, simple rigging as well, but rigging that will work. So yeah, absolutely. If you've not done one before, but you've got a few plastic kits under your belt, absolutely. Yeah, it does. So, Peter, I'm guessing you've never tried a wooden kit before, so that might be something new for you to try on the channel. Let's see what we've got. Colin also says interesting. So I don't know how many people on here right now have built a wooden ship kit before. You know, just a quick show of hands. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Looks nice. Rainbow is the other version they have. That's right. Yeah. So same basic idea. Similar boats as well. Peter's asking about the scale. I think we said, yeah, it's 1/80th scale. So wooden ships tend to vary in scale depending on the size of the boat in the first place. So they don't always come to the same scale, unfortunately, depending on the manufacturer. But yeah, seems indeed a good step up from plastic modeling to wood. Yeah, I agree. You can dip your toe in wood and see if you like it without, firstly, without a lot of outlay, because you to buy something like HMS Fly, you're spending 350 quid. I mean, if you buy a part work, the wooden ship part works from someone like Diagostini, where you pay monthly, those ships end up over 3 years costing you a grand, 1,200 quid, and they're actually dumbed down versions of proper model wooden ship kits that cost a fraction of that. So it's a good way of getting into it and trying it. You've not lost anything, have you, really, with that? And even if you didn't fancy tapering the mast, you could get away with just leaving it as a stick, especially as a youngster. You know, if you've got a youngster that's interested in modelling and likes boats and that sort of stuff, it's perhaps an interesting way forward. Yeah, so they do. Yeah, it's good. That's a good observation. They do a wooden hull version of that, which is their pre-existing longer standing kit. It's a fairly new concept doing the plastic, so be interesting to see if they take it beyond the yachts, because they could, with a little bit of ingenuity, bring that into one or two of their other ships as well. So a lot of companies do starter sets where you get a solid wooden hull that's already sanded into shape, so you don't have to do planking, and that's often seen as the starter ship way. And maybe this is a better way to use a plastic hull. I think possibly so. And if their technology permits, they might be able to mold it with wood grain texturing or something like that, so that you could do a small scale HMS Victory or something like that. Would be interesting. So yeah, yeah, who knows? Hello, Annie. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining. Nice to have you along. What else? What would have been the material of the hull on the real ship? Good question. Don't know. It's 1934, so I'm guessing probably wood. So I would have thought teak or something like that. Maybe. Don't know. Certainly, probably teak decks. A little bit of research on that one, I think, George. Let's see, what else have we got? Gary's saying looks an interesting kit. So what I'm interested in now, I mean, we haven't done the first impressions and looked at it properly, but how many people would consider, who've not built a wooden ship before, looking at that and thinking about maybe tackling that just to dip the toe in wooden ships? Just interested in what people are thinking about it. So Jeff, yeah, it's around about £80 in the UK. So wouldn't be far off that in dollars, I guess. So yeah, person who has an aversion to the subject, maybe I'll get one. Yeah, you know what? Like I say, you've got nothing to lose. Wooden planes. So you've built wooden planes. So are we talking like the gallows, balsa wood, and tissue paper with a rubber band engine and that sort of stuff, or something more sophisticated? That would be interesting. Because my dad made one of those when I was a kid, and then we took it to a field, and he wound up the elastic band, and we launched it, and it immediately crashed and smashed into smithereens. So it only flew once. It took him months to make it. So Martin is saying that he's getting closer to investing in a wooden ship. Okay, that's interesting. What I'd say is choose wisely. You can look at wooden ship kits and go, cool, that's amazing, really beautiful. And then you go and buy a kit and it's just too complicated and it scares you off for life. So despite the fact that you might want something with lots of bling on and all of that sort of stuff, get something that's simple, a schooner, one mast maybe, or something like this that's nice and simple, and move yourself in gently. You need to learn the skills on something small and easy. And there's a number of kits out there that can do that, but that's the way to go. learn the skills on one or two simple ships, and then up yourself onto something that's got the photo etch bling and that sort of stuff. You've also got to remember that a lot of kits might be 50, 60 years old in their origins, and although they've been reworked to be laser cut and stuff like that, the actual construction method might be tricky. So there's all sorts of things that you have to consider. So tread carefully, and if anyone wants advice on first kits, then just bob me an email, modelkitstuff@gmail.com, and I'm happy to help you out. So we've got the nopes, so that's not built kit. Craig, you have. Okay, be interested to know what you built. Thought about it but haven't done one yet. That's Captain Charlemagne. Wendy hasn't, and Altmore's no, in the process for the last 25 years. Okay, is that the same model for the last 25 years? I'm hoping not, although I've got about 6 on the go in the attic, which I haven't looked at for a while, so could be. Never built a wooden ship. Okay, never tried a wooden ship. That's John. Okay. Minuto 198 victory as we speak. Okay, that has a reputation as being a little bit tricky in places, that model. So I'd love to know your opinion of that. Okay, not built a wooden one yet, but we'll do in some time. Cutty Sark. So I have the Artesina Latina Cutty Sark in my stash, but I have it as the part work from a time when I used to help out with part works, but I don't anymore. Wendy, no, I can show you how to do that. It's really, really easy. It's all in the wrists. Jeff would consider building one. Very satisfying. Some people really enjoy the rigging part of it. Deal on the Amati HMS Vanguard in my stash. Right, okay. Don't plan to touch it until I get some experience. Yeah, absolutely. Vanguard is a serious kit. A serious kit, and you need to have got some under your belt before you tackle that. Otherwise, you'll end up ruining it. So Martin Ward would be up for it. Brilliant. Okay. I've still got something else I want to show you yet. So like leveling chair legs. Okay. So Wendy would like to build one. Okay, interesting. Make sure you have a book to put it under. Okay. I think I am cut up. Yes. You won't have that problem with the Amati kits. Yeah. Different kits all come with different challenges, and wooden kits can be challenging because the instructions can leave something to the imagination, even the best kits. So how do you get your experience? Well, hopefully watching videos like my HMS Fly videos will help. Right. Okay. So yes, absolutely going to build it at some point. Now, I do have HMS Fly on the go. And the question is, do I pause that and chuck this out? Because it should be quite a quick build, relatively speaking. Certainly much quicker than the Fly will be, which could do. Depends on whether there's a lot of demand for it. So when we do the first impressions, I might ask the question, would you like to see me build it? And we'll see the response. Right, now then, before I forget, there is another tool that I want to show you that I'm going to be reviewing very soon. Now, this didn't come in the box. I ordered this in August when Amati was on, because the Italian was on shutdown in August, and it arrived early September. And it's called the Action Kit. I don't know if you can see that. Counterintuitive. I keep wanting to go the opposite way. You're reversed. Your image is reversed. So now you'll see me using this on the next episode of the Ferret build. And it's a multi-tool. And at the moment, it's got the vice head on it. But it also has 2 knife blades and a saw and different collet heads, so you can use it for drilling as well. And it's come with all sorts of different sizes, and they're all made of brass. It's great material. But this is a fantastic tool. I've been testing it for the last 3-4 weeks now. So I'm ready to be able to do a review and tell you guys what I think. Again, sort of aimed at the wood modelers, but I'm finding it quite handy. And if you're new to the hobby, it's brilliant because you've got your saw, your knife, and your drill all in one tool. So it saves you some money as well. So I will be reviewing that, and that'll be in one of the Monday slots. So yeah, okay. There you go. Can you see me again? For some reason, it tapped out. If someone can just let me know that they can see me and hear me, that'll be perfect. And if Jeff, James, if you could, because I can't see, if you could encourage some thumbs up, that would be lovely. I'm back. Brilliant. Okay. Great. So, right, let me just catch up and then move back to HMS Fly. Okay, maybe. So here's an interesting comment. Let's get that up. Would be tempted, but not sure the Endeavour is my thing. That's a fair point. They do a nice fishing vessel. If they did that with a plastic hull, I'd be interested. So you're talking about the Scottish made, I think, is it? The Fishing Smack, which is a lovely looking kit. And actually, from a point of view of wood modelling, the hull is fairly straightforward because you've just got you've not got much tapering to do. But yeah, this is my point. It'd be interesting to see if Amati do more of this in ships that have got simple hulls, at least. Pick that comment, because I'll be honest, I'm jumping onto Fly every now and then doing the second planking. It's taken me for ages, whereas this would be fairly quick. But I'm back. You can see me, right? 37 watching, 17 thumbs up. Okay, interesting. What brand is it that you're doing? 198. I'm trying to think. Is that Artesina Latina or possibly the D'Agostini part work? If it's the part work, then the D'Agostini instructions that you get on YouTube, in a lot of them, it's my hands, you see, because I'm building it. And someone from London did a voiceover for it. So you see my hands building it and some Cockney accent talking over it, which is quite bizarre. So that's back in the day when I used to help them out. Right, so Minuta. Okay. Yeah, a few people saying that. If you've not built an Amati kit, definitely consider it, because quality of materials, ease of instructions is really important in the wooden hobby. But that's perhaps a discussion for perhaps do a video on the merits of different wooden ship manufacturing brands, because there's actually quite a few of them one way or another. Some of them only do a small range. There's some of them specialize, like there's one that does lots of Viking longboats, for example. But yeah, absolutely. So there you go. We now know what was in the box. So I'm going to film videos for all of those. You'll see the Endeavour on a Wooden Wednesday First Impressions at some point. I've got to film it, perhaps film it this weekend, and then we'll slot it into the schedule. And then we will do the Monday slot with all the tools. And if you've not looked at Amati tools before and you're a modeler, and regardless of what you do, go and have a look, because they are really, really well made tools. They last forever. They are really robust, and they pride themselves in it. They use good quality materials. So yeah, there we have it. That is pretty much everything I wanted to say. Would you like a preview of the Gota with its tail on as a special thank you for joining the live stream tonight? If you're interested in seeing where the Gota's up to, put it in the comments, and if we get a few people saying yep, then I'll go and get it down from its hidey hole, which is just above me on its sponge block. I do have something else I can show you, which I also got today. So this is of interest for the shipbuilders. So while people are telling me whether they want to see the Gota, let me show you this. Who remembers, probably about a year ago now, I did a tool review of this. It was a building slip, and it was comically bad. I know some of you saw it and will remember it. I have never used this. This is a 1350 building jig. I have never used it because it's utter junk, and they're still peddling it. So today I took delivery of this, which is a far better 1:350 scale. So it's 3D printed. Some of you have probably seen it before if you follow the Norwegian modeler. He uses the 1/200 scale one, which I've also got. So I'll be reviewing this, and I'll be doing a little how to build it video as well, because it the instructions you get on YouTube miss out one or two little points. But yeah, so if you like building new model ships, you've got that coming up. Right, so let's see. Is anyone interested in the Gota? Let's see. Yes for Gota. Yes, please. As long as I don't have to build the Gota. I think, George, you should. They've still got them in Hannants. The Gota UWD, they have more than 10 in stock in Hannants if you want to build one. Yes, it was a memorable video, wasn't it? Absolutely. Yeah, it was. If you remember, it didn't function. It was that badly designed. You've seen it on other channels as well, right? Okay. So how expensive was the 3D jig? It depends on the configuration you want. So the best thing to do, when I put the video out, I'll put a link to his channel, is go and have a look and work out your configuration. And also be wary of your import costs, because it comes from Germany, and I got stung for £78 to import 2 jigs. So yeah, it's not something you're going to lightly, but should last you a lifetime. Right, okay. 29 likes, 30 watching. Thank you very much. I will go and get the Gota. I'll be right back. There we go. Flying interview. So she is so close to done, you wouldn't believe it. We've got that to install. You can see it's just resting in there. That's the gun on its ring. So that just needs to be installed in there. We've got the little weather device on the wing. And we now have a tail on. So I've got some gloss work to do. I've got some additional rigging to do. So the rigging that goes underneath the fuselage, paint the proboscis. But yeah, she is looking really, really nice. and then some final clear coating on the fuselage just to finish it off. And that's pretty much it. So it will be finished at some point this weekend. Yeah. So she's looking lovely. And like I say, they've got 10 of them in Hannants and they're not a bad price. Right. There we have it. That is pretty much everything I wanted to say. Looks the bee's knees. Thank you very much. 31 9 Hannants. Nigel bought one down. Oh, right. Nigel's bought one, has he? Okay. Interesting. The Gotha looks stunning. Thank you, Martin. Appreciate that. It is a beautiful model if you take your time on it. Thank you very much. I was nervous of picking it up, in fairness, and what you don't know was when I picked it up, it was upside down because I'm about to do all the rigging. So it's resting on this, which is actually for putting a ship's hull in. You put a ship's hull in there. It's a building cradle. But actually, I can put the fuselage upside down in there with the wings on each side, and it just about balances. So I'm going to quickly finish the rigging, clear coat the underside, flip it back up, and then it'll never be upside down again. And then we've just got to find a prominent place to display it. So, yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. I don't think I've got anything more to share. Great talking to you. Nice to see you all. I will be back on, tomorrow. I'll have an update on the GMC truck. This bad boy here, which is progressing nicely, and we focus on sorting out a major fit issue with the bonnet, which a number of other people have had. Then on Friday, I think we're on Queen Mary 228 or 29, something like that. And then on Saturday, we'll have a table talk where we'll no doubt talk about that for those that didn't catch the live stream, and the building cradles. And of course, I've got the 1200 one ready for the Scharnhorst, which is edging ever closer. Right. Thank you very much for watching. Nice to see you all. You enjoy your modeling, and I will catch up with you very soon. Bye for now. Bye. Back to front, this camera. Right. Now, this is where I usually find I can't switch it off.